Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. So I was going out to weed eat and I realized I'm out of gas in my weed eater. So I thought I'd bring you along since I've got to go get some gas, and I'll show you how I mix up my two-stroke gas and how you can do it too with avoiding buying the high-priced pre-mixed fuels. So I mix this gas up a gallon at a time when I'm using my weed eater, and mostly that's because most weed eaters have right around a quart of a fuel tank. So 1 gallon of gas will give you 4 tanks of gas, and what I'm getting is 4 or 5 uses of this weed eater out of a tank of gas. So basically 1 gallon, that'll last me a month or more. I'm using this Husqvarna XP synthetic blend 2-stroke oil, but any good quality oil will work with this. And lastly, I use stable storage fuel stabilizer treatment just to keep anything from going bad with this gas if it ends up stored over the winter, which generally this time of year is not going to sit around long. If all I was doing was weed eating and the occasional chainsaw, I would just mix up 1 gallon. But I'm getting ready to start cutting a bunch of firewood, so I'm going to go ahead and grab 2 gallons of this fuel as well. All right, so here at the gas pump, what you're looking for is non-ethanol. And here the non-ethanol is 91 octane and it's $4.50 a gallon. The regular is $3 a gallon, so you're paying a little more, but it's worth it not to have that ethanol. Okay, and here's probably even a better comparison. So the premium non-ethanol is $4.49 a gallon, but it's 91 octane. Here's premium 93 octane that has ethanol, and it's $4.19. So what is that, 30 cents? So there's 30 cents a gallon difference anyway. Okay, so there's our 3 gallons of fuel. We've got $13.53 in it so far. Let's go put the oil in it, see how it does. Okay, so here we've got the main ingredient in the 2-cycle mix, which is 1 gallon of ethanol-free gas. Now we're going to add our synthetic blend 2-stroke oil to the mix, and this does 5 gallons of gas, so it's 12.8 ounces, so let's check that out. So if we've got 12.8 ounces divided by 5 gallons, so we've got 2.56 ounces per gallon. And we've got a measuring cup here that's got a 2.5 ounce, and then it's got a 3 ounce, or it's got tablespoons, and then here it's got milliliters. So look at that. Okay, so what to do with that 0.06? Well, 0.06 US fluid ounces is basically 1/3 of a US teaspoon. So I think we can just ignore that. If you want to try to be more precise, you could probably throw in a couple drops. Okay, so let's go with 2.5 ounces. So there's 2.5 ounces, and actually that's just above the line, so I imagine we've got our 0.06 in there as well. Now, I also like to use stable in this because sometimes this gas might sit over a season. So this amount treats 80 gallons, and it's 32 ounces. So we'll see what that is. So we've got 32 ounces divided by 80 equals 0.4 of an ounce per gallon. And here we've got a 0.5 of an ounce. And again, I think that'll be close enough. So this has a mixing vial right here, and there's a 1/2 ounce. So we'll show you how that works. Okay, we want to go up to a 1/2 ounce. I've already got a 1/4 in there. There's 1/2 of an ounce. So we'll dump that in. Now when you pour this, you want to leave this on the top so that you don't end up getting more of this in there. Okay, so now we've got our stable, our 2-cycle oil, and our 1 gallon of ethanol-free gas. And we're ready to run our weed eater. And again, this 1 gallon, that's 4 tanks of gas in the weed eater. It's probably 8 tanks of gas in the chainsaws. So that'll last us quite a while. And also, the way you know that's true is the pre-mixed stuff, they only sell it in 1 gallon containers and in quarts. I'll go ahead and mix up the 2 gallons that I've got also. And I'll start with the Stables, just because I've already started there. So here's our 1 ounce of Stable. And we'll pour that in. Now we'll add our oil. All right, so we'll put our 2.5 ounces in. And of course, we've got to do this twice. There we go. So 2.5. And once. And then a second time. And now we've got our 2 gallon container mixed and ready to roll. Some of the things I think are important with these gas cans is to be able to seal it up. And these cans are old enough, they've still got vents on them. And they don't have the safety spout like so many of the new ones have. So these work really well. Okay, so our 2-stroke oil that does 5 gallons, you can get at Rural King for $9.59. So $9.59 divided by 5. So $1.91 per gallon is what that costs you. So there's $2. The gas we bought for, let's see, $4.49, so $4.50 plus 2 is $6.50. Okay, and the Stable 32-ounce fuel stabilizer, Walmart has it for $9.49. Cabela's is $13.99. I think Menards was right around $10 as well. So let's see what that does. Okay, and this Stable's 32 ounces and does 80 gallons. And I think I paid $12 for that. So let's do $12 divided by 80 gallons. So 15 cents per gallon is what this Stable will set you back. All right, so adding that up for 1 gallon, we're going to start with $4.49 for the ethanol-free 91, I think, octane fuel. But ethanol-free is the main part of that. Plus, we said about $2 for the oil, plus 15 cents for the Stable. We've got $6.64 a gallon. And I'll tell you what, you can't buy any of the pre-mixed, get 1 gallon fuel containers for anywhere close to that. Okay, so here are some of the engineered or pre-mixed fuel. There's a gallon for $19.99 at Tractor Supply. This is the cheapest I found at Walmart, $16.97, but that's SuperTech. I'm not sure I want to put that in my $1,000 chainsaw. Here's Husqvarna XP, which is the same oil that we use there. They want $29.99 for that gallon. So I think you can see you can save you a lot of money by mixing it yourself. Okay, let's go ahead and top this off. So we're going to put about 1/4 of this gallon in here. And that's going to last me, like I said, it takes about, a tank will do 4 trimmings around my property. So this is going to last us over a month. That's far enough. One of the things I like about these flexible nozzles and a vent in the can is I didn't spill a drop. And that's what we want. But you have to have an old enough can to be able to do that. These new fuel cans, I really think they're a lot of the reason people don't mix their own.
What? Is that your daddy? Huh? Do you not recognize him?
So let's go ahead and run our weed eater with our homemade 50-to-1 stabilized engineered fuel. Well, the gas works great, but now we're out of string. So some of this pre-engineered fuel is $10 to up to $20 a gallon higher than just mixing it yourself. So you might wonder why anybody would use that. Well, I come from the Indianapolis Fire Department, and we had a lot of trouble with people not understanding how to mix 2-stroke oil for our equipment that used 2-stroke gas. I'll tell you what, the expensive gas did solve that issue. If you're going to mix your own 2-stroke fuel, and I recommend that you do, start with ethanol-free gasoline. Ethanol-free fuel is actually more common in my area than even like the off-road diesel. And don't mix 5 gallons at a time because you don't really use that much of it unless you're running a landscape company or something. Get a good 2-stroke oil. And you know, I'd stick with any of the name brands, and I like a synthetic blend or a full synthetic. I've had great luck with that Husqvarna oil, but there are many on the market. Lastly, get a good reusable gas can. I imagine the landfills are full of those little metal 1-gallon jugs that come with that pre-engineered fuel. Oh well.
This is my way of trimming. You can see that I don't get to it much.
Okay, well, that's how we mix our 2-stroke gas here on the homestead. And, you know, doing it this way, we're saving $10 to $15 a gallon every time versus buying the pre-engineered fuels. And I'll tell you what, you can do it this way too. So give us a thumbs up if you got anything out of this video. It definitely helps our channel. And we invite you to subscribe to see more. Have a great day and be safe.